guys? Megan here. Good news for me and bad news, as always. I take measurements every it's a piece of advice that I gave you guys a long time ago. Some people followed it, some people stopped. I thought I was fucking around. I take measurements. I take my body measurements every month, right? Every month. Normally, before I used to do it every 3 months, but now I want to set the bar high, right? I want to see changes every month, especially with my my arms and my waist and things like that. The body parts I'm trying to dramatically improve. So I take measurements, right? And I tell people it's such a simple trick, but it is so fucking powerful. But nobody really cares because they've been brainwashed for so long into thinking that it takes forever to see results, by looking at all these random videos and everybody's advice and shit. They're like, oh, it takes so long to see results, so what? Why bother? You're a fool, man. You should always be a trailblazer. Always look for ways to. That's why I like looking at studies, because I want to see the limitations put on the human body, and I want to transcend it, right? Obviously, naturally. The first guy, I remember I heard a story about Laurent Caccia, how back in the days, the limit on how big a guy's arms could get naturally was, I think it was like 17 or 18. I forgot what number it was. And so everyone, once they got to 16 or 17, they stopped looking for new ways to get past 17-inch arms. If that's the number, I forgot if it was 17 or 18. But anyway, they stopped looking for ways to get past that number because they were like, oh, science says so and so and so, or the status quo says that you can't get bigger than that naturally, so we might as well quit. And he was one of the fuckers that decided to say, you know what, let me try to see if I could go for 18. And obviously people were telling him, oh, this and that, it's impossible, blah blah blah. Same shit people are telling us over here. And he made 18, and once he made 18, now everybody else tried to make 18, and they accomplished it. Then they went for 19, and they're like, oh no, it's impossible. Make a long story short, he got to 21. Naturally, if he wanted to listen to the constraints at the time, he would have stuck, been stuck at 17 or 18-inch arms, whatever the fuck that, the limit was. So, yes, I always tell people, look at science, look at what science is saying, look at what studies are saying, look what professional trainers are saying. But at the same time, always experiment, always trying to break through those constraints. So one thing that I do to help me do that is I take measurements, right? I measure my arm, I measure my waist, my chest, my shoulders, everything. I take measurements every month, and I know the body changes in order to adapt to stress. So if you give the stress frequently enough, and the intensity is high enough, and the recovery is good enough, which is the most important part, you will see changes within 3 to 4 weeks. It doesn't have to be 1 inch on your arms, right? But it could be, tiny changes, 0.25, a quarter inch, whatever it is. Your body can continue to make gains until you reach your genetic potential. And 90% of us have not reached our genetic potential, so there's a lot of room to grow. So don't be discouraged by people telling you that, oh, don't worry, it takes so long to put on muscle, it takes so long. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does, but people are doing it. People are breaking records on a daily basis. The number one requirement is to be willing to try. So, I took my last measurements yesterday, and I'm going to show you guys the results. It was crazy. The last time I did it before yesterday was 2 months ago, because I forgot to do it last month. And my arms went up from I gotta have the numbers. I'll put the numbers in the description, on the screen, probably in the description because it's faster. But anyway, I gained half an inch on my arm, and you gotta also check your weight, because the weight can fool you. If your arm size is going up and your weight is also going up, it might be fat. In my case, my weight, I lost 8 pounds so far. I was 208 the last time I took my measurements. I lost 8 pounds, and I actually gained half an inch on my arm, and that's my arm relaxed, not flex. I take measurements of my arm flex, but I like doing it relaxed, because when your arm is, think about it, who walks around with a fucking flex arm? If I want an 18-inch arm, I want my arm to be 18-inch cold, relaxed, no flex, no pump, right? So that's why I like measuring my arms and setting goals using my relaxed state, cold state. And I gain half an inch on my cold arm, like waking up in the morning, whatever, not after cheap meals, none of that shit. And I was fucking excited. My uncle couldn't believe it. And because, once again, when I got my measurements last time, one of my goals was to, increase the size of my arm. So I increased the volume, I increased the frequency. I went back to my little overtraining thing. I did it for a little bit, and it worked again, another half an inch. So I'm gonna keep it up until I get to 18 inches cold. That's my goal, 18 inches cold. And after that, I'm gonna try to go for 19 cold, on and on and on. And the other good news is my chest blew the fuck up. 3 fucking inches. I added 3 inches on my chest, guys. 3 inches in 2 months. And I'm not surprised, because once again, the last time I took the measurements with my uncle and Hansa and them, one of my goals was to increase my chest. So I went back to the overtraining thing. I did chest 3 times a week, and I did the nucleus thing. I did like nucleus overload, and I went back to the heavy lifting phase, and boom, I was shocked. I thought I was gonna get like 1.5 inch max. I gained 3 inches on my chest, guys, and I gained no, I actually lost 2 inches on my shoulders. I'm not surprised. I stopped hitting shoulders as hard as I used to. I stopped doing the whole Nephilim shit. I gotta go back into it. 2 inches is a lot to losing your shoulders. What else I did? My quads didn't change. I'm not surprised. I've been bullshitting legs. My calves didn't change. My forearms didn't change. My neck changed by 1/2 inch. I gained 1/2 inch on my neck. I guess because I'm doing a lot more trap work now. I'm just now starting to overtrain my traps. Like I said, I've just finished doing it for chest. Now I'm doing it for traps. So I'm not surprised. I gained 1/2 inch on my neck. Anyway, like, guys, take measurements. I'm telling you, this shit works. Take measurements. Look at numbers. It's easier to set your goals when you're looking at numbers, right? Another bad thing happened to me. My waist, my waist only lost 1/2 inch. So I gotta, fix my diet, even better. But anyway, yeah, you gotta take measurements. Take measurements. Write the numbers down. And I even put this shit on Excel, and I graphed that bitch. I got data back from 2012. So I got like a spark line going, and like the shit we learned in math. So I could see the fucking graph going up on my arms. For my legs, and shit was going down when I started hitting legs. It's awesome, guys. Try it out. Do it on Excel. It's really easy. And make a graph out of these numbers. And you see the curve, the slope of how your chest is growing or your arms is growing. And then when you see that the next month you put the numbers in and it goes down, that's a sign that, hey, you got to increase the volume of fictional nutrition or whatever. Get stronger, whatever it is. So try it out, guys. Trust me, it really, really helps, man. And stay tuned for next measurements. I'm hoping to gain some size back in my legs, my shoulders, and obviously my traps and arms. All right, so stay tuned. Also, if you take measurements already, I'm not saying everybody doesn't do it, but the ones that do it already, try to motivate the rest of Team 3D, guys. Comment below. Let me know your measurements. Let me know your stats, arms, legs, everything, right? Comment below. Let me know how it's been working for you. Don't forget to like the video, like good shit, share the video, help the channel grow, and subscribe. I'm out. Going on, best exercise for back width, for latissimus dorsi, for your lats. Once again, continue the series based on the EMG studies, based on the most fibers being recruited, highest EMG reading.